Well, now that all the porridge has been flushed out of that cooling system, you can see it's much better down there. The radiator does need to come out and be cleaned. It's running a little hot. But the air conditioning now has been gassed. That's working quite nicely. I also cleaned the condenser. I need to clean it again, it was filthy. I cleaned it once so far. I've got the coil comb and straightened all these because they were all bent over on this side. And the fan's a little bit stiff, but yeah, it's working. So next I'm going to delete the level rider hydraulic system because it's got standard shocks in it, but they've left this all here and all it does is leak oil everywhere. So I'm going to remove the pump and blank that off, remove the bottle, remove these hoses and just leave these pipes in because they go all the way to the back of the car. So I'll just get rid of everything it doesn't need and it'll stop leaking oil everywhere. So there's an absolute mess all around here. I've had to wash it all. The dryer was absolutely covered in oil. So should come good though after all this is done. Then I'm going to do engine mounts because that one down there is collapsed completely. As you can see, it's sitting pretty flat, and there's a new one for it. It's dropped about an inch, and the other side's not looking too happy either. The engine's not running as good as it was last time I saw it. It's doing that misfire thing at idle and when you rev it up again. But the gas, I think, is leaning out. So the gas system needs a little bit of an overhaul. I'll check that out again later. Well, I've jacked the engine up to about where it should sit. That's much better. If I let the jack down, you can see how far it'll drop. A long way. That's how screwed that mount is. Well, I've got the old mount out. With the weight of the engine off, it's risen about half an inch. But you can see the difference between old and new. A little bit lower. Yeah, it's practically flat with the engine on it. It's just flat across here. So that one should be much healthier for it. It's looking pretty nasty anyway. Well, there's the second engine mount done. So this one was all cracked around there and it was collapsed as well. Whilst I was under there, I took the air pump off because that system's pointless on LPG. The pump was disconnected anyway. It seems to be full of water. Not very happy. Feels a bit seized and rooted. That might be something fun to torment later. Crappy design, crappy idea. It's environmental bullshit anyway. It seems like a water catcher, especially being at the lowest point of the engine bay. You drive through a puddle and it fills up with water and pumps water into your exhaust. Shit thing. Oh, the engine's definitely sitting higher now. It was so low before it was totally crimping off the power steering return line, which I think is just a piece of heater hose. Feels like it. It's gone all floppy. Let's see if I got something else in stock. And the fan was at the bottom of the shroud. Now it's in the middle again. So, feels like it needs a new viscous coupling. But yes, much better. Don't know if you can see from this angle how much higher that is, but it's higher. Beforehand it was all the way down to that point. Don't know if you can see my finger even. Look at me after doing that job. Absolutely filthy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, next I'll delete this and that. Oh, now that oil system's deleted, much more room. Unfortunately I sent out the wrong plate. This one's a little bit too small to go there. So I'll see if I can get the right one, or I'll just make one otherwise. But now I'm just having a look at the fan, someone's already put a relay here to trigger the fan as soon as the aircon comes on. But the way they did it was a bit bullshit. What they did was they disconnected the engine coolant temperature sensor here and used that wire. So if the engine got hot, the fan wouldn't come on. So what they did, they unplugged this, had this wire plugged into that wire, which was triggered off this relay by the negative. So I'm going to piss all that off and redo it. And all this was just loose, just hanging about. So I'm going to put, either reuse this wire or put another nice wire there. Use these wires which go down to the aircon temperature switch, and also connect that into it, so if the aircon's too hot and you turn the aircon off, the fan will keep running. And that way if the coolant gets too hot without the aircon on, the fan will also come on. So it's all a little better that way. So simple as that. Put these wires there and then run 2 more wires to these and put them both there as well, and just have 1 wire there, so it triggers when the aircon compressor comes on. We'll do it properly. Yeah, that was a hack job, whoever did that. I've gone around removing all the things that this engine does not need now, like all of the EGR system apart from the valve, because it's on straight gas, and with the EGR it's just not needed and won't work with the LPG system, and all the vacuum lines that went nowhere. So it's cleaning it all up, because whoever did the gas conversion did a pretty hack job on it. They just put the gas on, was probably interested in getting the fuel divider off it because they're worth a lot of money, and just got it running on straight gas and pissed it off. But this vacuum line's just going nowhere. Vacuum line had a carbon canister still in it, but no fuel tank, and the canister was still connected on the vacuum lines, but went nowhere. So there's an air leak. Underneath there was a fuel injection for cold start. That was still connected, but the fuel lines were missing, so there's another air leak. And all sorts of things where this shouldn't be. So I'm cleaning it all up, because the thing just doesn't run quite right. So, and I found it's got a lot of oil and shit in the gas mixer again, so I think the gas has been contaminated and the converter's a bit sick. So I'll recommend to the owner to go and get the whole gas system overhauled, and it should run much better afterwards, because there's a lot of contamination in the gas mixer. Like, if you have a look down here, you see it's all oily again. I cleaned that last time it was in. The oil's coming out of the actual gas converter. So that's not a good sign. Not good at all. Well, here's a little pile of things that come out of the car so far. Carbon canister, dead air pump, suspension system which wasn't connected anymore. All these pipes were for the EGR and they're all still connected, so you know, don't need those. They're actually full of oily shit too. Don't know if any will come out at the moment. It's pretty viscousy. It's like wax. I made a hell of a mess before. Yeah, it doesn't want to drip. Dripped everywhere before for me. All over me. But yeah, well, you can see in there it's pretty nasty. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's all over the pipe. So in the intake system, all this oily, shitty crap is everywhere. It seems to be coming from the LPG itself. Well, I've done the wiring to run the fan now, so that's all nice. And it goes over to the compressor, and I've redone that because, yeah, it was all crap. And the bracket from the hose was rubbing into the hose, and it's knocked the outer layer off the hose. So that'll need to be replaced at some point. Someone did it up way too tight and on an angle. I only noticed that when I went to go put the bracket there, and I loosened the bracket off, and I was like, oh fuck, should have really done that before it was gassed, but oh well, too late now. I changed this piece of heater hose. That's definitely what it is. It's all swollen up. I can't describe how floppy that is. It crimped itself over when the engine mounts went. It was blocking off the return pressure, so the power steering was pretty much not working. And if that popped, it's right next to the exhaust, and that would have ended up in a very good fire. So now I've got some proper hydraulic hose here, so that's nice. I noticed it was leaking on this hose, which is the return line as well, and if we have a look, it's completely loose. Hasn't been tightened. Whoever did this head was a real head case, because yeah, it burnt out a valve a while ago and they replaced the head and everything's bodged up. So tighten that up. Still alright hose, there's no point replacing it. Got to put a few vacuum lines around the place, blank off a few ports. And I'll get it like a Mercedes again. Give it a nice wash again, get it all that clean. And she'll come up pretty good. Needs the exhaust done though, because it leaks like a sieve. Hopefully it runs a little better this time. It's misfiring at idle, but I'd say that's mainly because of all that residue from the gas. So it's leaning right out when it's idling. It's having a lot of trouble lately, especially now the aircon's going. And up here somewhere we've got Quality Control Cat checking out some things. How's it going, Quality Control Cat? You a good boy? Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. You just want to play with the box. What's in the box? Strange little creature. You're strange. Yes you are. Yes you are. He's a good boy. He likes a good bit of box.